name is Mila from Lavosa Farm, and today I would like to show you how to make goat milk soap from scratch. So this is what you need. You need bowls, big enough, one at least big enough to hold all the ingredients at the end. Okay, so we use either glass or stainless steel. You do not use any other metals or painted surfaces because it reacts with the lye and then you get dangerous fumes. So no aluminum and no copper, no tin, just use glass or stainless steel. You will need individual bowls to heat up the individual oils. So I have 3 different ones. I have castor, olive oil and coconut oil. So I need 3 to heat those up separately and then mix them together. You need something to pour it in the mold easily, and this is what I use. And then you need a glass measuring cup that you can easily pour the lye from. You cover it with saran wrap so that it doesn't absorb the moisture from the air and get clumpy. You need safety gear, gloves, goggles, and a respirator because there are dangerous fumes coming off at the start. You will need a thermometer to measure the temperature of the oils. A whisk and a spatula is very handy. An electronic scale. You will need molds, and I like to use the silicone molds. Very easy to unmold, makes perfect 100-gram soap bars. This is the frozen goat milk. It's already pre-measured. You use it frozen, so you have to make sure that it is frozen before you even start. You're going to need 99% alcohol in a spray bottle, and in the video you will see why you need it. And if you want to fragrance your soap, you will need your fragrance oils. I like to use essential oils. You need lye crystals. Then you will need paper towels, lots of them, just in case you have a lye spill or to clean up anything. And you will need a microwave to heat up the oils. Now that we have everything set up to go, let's get started. Now we're going to weigh the oils. I already weighed the olive oil and the coconut oil. So we set it to 0 so that we can be accurate. And weighing is way more accurate than using the lines on the measuring cup. We need 413 grams. This is 414. That's close enough. So the coconut oil is solid at room temperature, and therefore we are going to microwave this first in small bursts. So this is after 1 minute in the microwave. I'm just going to break it up a little so that it heats evenly. So after another 30 seconds, it's almost there. Stir it a little bit and put it back. Okay, so I heated up the other oils for 1 minute already in the microwave, and you see that after a few bouts in the microwave for 30 seconds the coconut oil is now liquid. So since these are also heated up, we can mix them all together. And we want this mixture of oils to be between 110 and 120 Fahrenheit, which is between 43 and 48 Celsius approximately. That's a little over 110, so that's pretty good. So this is the goat milk. It's frozen and it's already measured, so this is exactly what we need. But in order to work with it, we need to break it up, and therefore I'll put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds to make that easier. So after 30 seconds in the microwave, we can break it up a little. This is the lye. I already measured the weight. Okay, so I'm all protected. I have my goggles and these actually fit over my regular glasses. And I have my respirator on. So let's get this done. Now we have the frozen milk in here. You see it's in big chunks still. But that's the way we want it. Because these big chunks of ice are actually slowing down the heat that comes when we mix these two together. So when we mix the sodium hydroxide with the liquid, which is the milk, which is now frozen, it gets really hot. If it gets too hot, then it will actually scorch the milk, so then it will turn brown. And that's why we have the big chunks of ice. So we're going to do this really slow, and we're just going to keep on moving it around. As you can see, it's melting right away. But because we are doing it really slow, it doesn't get the chance to get really hot. Now you can also put this in an ice bath, which I used to do before, but I actually found out that this is just easier. Have big chunks of ice, frozen milk. We'll keep it cool enough. Now you just be patient and slowly move it around. You don't want to splash, because this liquid is very dangerous. It burns the skin, you don't want to get it in your eyes, you don't want it splashing on the counter where you later have to clean it up and you don't realize that there's lye spilled. So let's just do it very slow and keep it all contained in this bowl. Now we use a glass bowl, so you can use a stainless steel bowl or glass. Okay, so now all the lye is in the milk. You can see that there's only a few chunks of ice left, and you can see the change of color. And if it would get too hot, then this would turn orange and then brown, and that means that your soap bar is not going to look creamy, it's going to look brown. There will be nothing wrong with the soap, it just doesn't look very pretty. Now we're making sure that all the lye crystals are dissolved before we are going to put this into the oil. Another thing that I have to mention is that you never put liquid into the lye. You always put the lye into the liquid. You don't want a lye volcano splashing up all over you or your counter. Very dangerous. So you always add the lye to the liquid. Okay, so now all the lye granules have been dissolved, and you see that my liquid is yellow, not brown or orange, which is perfect. Now this is lye solution. Okay, so that's dangerous. So we're going to put this on a paper towel. And the lye solution remains dangerous until it binds with the oil and turns into soap. Okay, so we are going to mix this with the oils and do it really slow. And we just stir it. We're not whisking it up too much, because then you get a whole bunch of air bubbles in your soap. You don't want that. So just pour it in slowly and just keep stirring. Once everything is in, I put this in the safe place again, on a paper towel, and I put water in here. And now we are going to stir for like 10 minutes. That's how long it takes if you use a lot of olive oil in your soap, like I do. Then it's going to take you longer to get to where you need to be. And where you need to be is called trace. So when the chemical process is done and the oil and the lye solution turns into soap, then it starts being thick enough that when you do this, you actually can see it lay on top. That's called trace. Once we accomplish that, then we can pour it into the molds. Okay, this is the 5-minute mark, and I am making sure that I go everywhere to make sure that everything gets a chance to turn into soap. And this process is called saponification. And once this is completed, the soap is no longer dangerous to touch, and there are no longer any dangerous fumes. And to know when it's ready to pour, we have to look for trace, and I'll show you. This is how you look for trace, and you see there's no trace yet because all the liquid sinks in right away. So we need to go another 5 minutes. Now you can use a stick blender. I personally don't like it. Stick blender goes too fast. I like to control the process. I want to make sure that everything is done evenly and not a big clump at the bottom and at the top it's still not ready. So I do not use a stick blender. So we are going for another 5 minutes, and we'll see you in 5. Let's see if we have trace. If you see it lay on top for just a nanosecond, this is very short, before it sinks in, then you have a light trace. I don't know if you can see it, but we do actually have light trace. Okay, since we have light trace, we can now add the essential oils, and I made a nice little mixture. And just double check, yes, we have light trace. We are slowly going to add the essential oils. Some oils actually accelerate trace. It all depends on what oils you are using. But some essential oils actually accelerate trace. So you put them in at light trace, mix them in really well. And you may have noticed that I have taken off my mask because there's no longer any dangerous fumes. Okay, so we are at the point that we have the trace exactly the way I like it. We are going to pour this into something that is easier to pour it into molds with. As you can see, I put a little paper towel under each mold. I will show you after that once you have filled one, you don't want to disturb it because you get air pockets easily when you put it like this. You can get an air pocket right there, So I move it with the paper towel like this after I fill it. And that's why the paper towel is underneath. Because I have been stirring very carefully, there are no air bubbles in my soap bars. Now I want to move it. And this is how we do that. Without disturbing the soap inside. Without creating air pockets where we don't want them. And there we go on to the next one. Okay, after about 15 minutes, after 15 minutes pouring the soap in the mold, you have to spray it with 99% alcohol. This is to prevent something that's called soda ash. Soda ash is like a white film on your soap. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the soap. It's totally fine. It just doesn't look as pretty. So that's why we spray it with the 99% alcohol. Just a couple of sprays. And you do the same after unmolding. I unmold after 24 to 48 hours, closer to 48 hours actually, because olive oil in the soap takes longer to cure, so it stays soft for a very long time. So 48 hours is better. It's 2 days later and I have unmolded the soap that we made. Nice looking creamy bars. It's still a little soft. It's sitting on a drying rack because cold processed soap needs to cure for at least 4 weeks. Most of the time when you use a lot of olive oil, like I do, it's a curing time of 6 weeks. Soap after 48 hours can be used. The problem is it's still soft and there's a lot of moisture in it still, so it will not last as long. It would be safe to use though, but that would be a shame because, you know, you would wash it away very quickly. You can see here all the different soaps that I have been making lately. You see it all labeled so that I know when the curing time is done. And you see different ingredients or soap with different ingredients. Like here, kelp and sea salt, which is a different kind of process. Charcoal, rosemary, calendula, and even shampoo bars, which is also a different process. So all these different types of ingredients that make it a little bit more difficult, we'll explain in another video.